Hello, and welcome to Writing Escapades, episode 5. Let me introduce myself for those that are new. My name is David Rawding. I'm an author, former English professor, podcaster, YouTuber, and general goofball. Writing Escapades is a platform for me to talk about writing and offer advice. Today's question is one I see a lot. Do you need an MFA or a writing degree to be a successful writer? That's the subject of this episode, so let's not waste time. So I threw on my Kenai River Drifters Lodge, Cooper Landing, Alaska. It's a fishing lodge that I worked at for 3 years. While I was there in Alaska, I was inspired to write Redemption Grove, which is my newest book. And so since I'm wearing the sweatshirt, I thought, well, I'll probably have a background in Alaska. So this background that you see here is Orca Island. I went there with some friends that were visiting, and it's off of Seward. You take a small little water taxi over. They drop you off, and you get to stay. And there's me down there, over there, down there fishing, catching some rockfish and stuff like that. Real fun. Loved Alaska. I highly recommend it for anybody who is thinking about it. Book the trip when you can and get up to Alaska. It's beautiful. You've got bears, moose, wildlife everywhere. It's naturally so beautiful and breathtaking. So I always tell people, go to Alaska, just go. It's amazing. It's everything and more. So full disclosure, I have an MFA in fiction and a bachelor's degree in English. So I'll give you my true opinion at the end of the episode, but for now, let's dive into what these degrees are and the pros and the cons of having degrees in English or writing. So I'll start with my BA in English. This is a 4-year degree where the focus was mainly on studying historic literature, learning about various forms of writing, and workshopping my own writing. What are the pros and what are the cons? So the pros. I got to get a substantial background in the various types of writing. I got to read and I got to analyze the classics, and I got to understand how the masters created their works. The exposure to all sorts of diverse writing influenced me a lot. The degree also offered courses that were writing workshops. These are good places to learn your craft. Whether you're in a fiction writing workshop or a poetry writing workshop, you'll get the chance to create work, share work with your peers and the professor, and get feedback. You'll learn a bit of crafting prose and editing. You'll likely learn to become more comfortable sharing and discussing in a group setting, and hopefully start to refine your craft. And the negatives, the cons. In my experience, a BA in English doesn't open a ton of doors for potential high-paying careers when compared to STEM degrees, those science, technology, engineering, mathematics degrees. With a degree in English, you may encounter a low return on your investment, a low ROI. We all know colleges and universities here in the US are very expensive, and finding a job with a BA in English can be challenging. So, what sorts of jobs could this degree get you? In my experience, it can lead to jobs in marketing, copywriting, publishing, journalism, customer service. You could be an author, an editor, or various other content creating or editing roles. These jobs don't tend to be on the high end of the pay scale, and you'll probably have to work your way up the ladder or go freelance. But with anything, if you can prove your worth to a company, they'll hopefully compensate you for your effort. You really have to ask yourself before you commit to any degree, what am I looking to get out of this degree? For me, I knew I wanted to be an author and that I wanted to be an English professor. So the BA in English was a start, but not enough. You'll find colleges often want their professors, even adjunct professors, to have at least a master's degree or ideally a doctorate. So I continued on and got an MFA degree. Okay, let's talk about MFA programs. They're all different, so I won't claim to speak about ones I didn't attend. But the general idea with my MFA program was that the goal was to create a manuscript of a novel. I achieved this by working with a new mentor each semester for 2 years. The mentors were the professors who were all established authors. The goal of the program was to finish with a rough draft of a book, which was my first thriller, Taking on Water. I learned a lot in this program, and I have also become very close with my cohort of fellow writers and the professors. We still keep in touch, and we use each other as beta readers or editors and connections as we all pursue our writing goals. Connections in any industry are often priceless. The overarching negative to any college or university degree is the cost. Student loan debt in the US is no joke. And that's why I stress you should really be certain about your choice in a degree before you sign up. So after I received my MFA, I started teaching as an online English professor. I did this off and on for about 5 years. My MFA and my publishing credentials got me the job, and I got to work with hundreds, if not thousands of students who wanted to pursue writing. For me, the degrees were worth it. Now for you, they may not. And if you don't want to teach, these degrees might not be necessary for you. I've met some great fiction writers with science and engineering backgrounds. They all learned how to write on their own. Want to learn how to do it? Well, you can buy my book, Dave's Super Duper Keys to Success, for just 8 easy payments of $99.99. Just kidding. No, guys, you can learn everything I learned very cheaply without getting a degree. You can simulate your own MFA program. Here are some ways to go about creating your own MFA experience. 1, read craft books, all the craft books. These are manuals on how to write, from the very basic grammar and punctuation books with books like Strunk & White's Elements of Style to craft books like Self-Editing for Fiction Writers. There are so many out there, but you do well to read as many as you can get your hands on. Go full Hermione Granger on them and go ahead and set up shop at the library. Just sit there with all those books and just absorb. Think of the authors of these craft books as your writing mentors. They're teaching you how to use craft elements that you can practice in your own writing. Step 2, join a writing group. I said it in episode 2, and I'll say it again. Find yourself a writing group. A writing group is practically the same thing as a writing workshop, and they can offer you deadlines and support. Join 2 writing groups. Join 3. Sky's the limit, Captain. Join as many as you can. Step 3, listen to writing podcasts and watch writing YouTube channels like this one. You're already doing it. I'm offering free advice, and I used to be a professor, so you're getting some of the same sort of advice I'd offer my students for free. Free is good. Want access to some big name writers? You can always pay for a subscription to something like the Masterclass service, where you can get lectures and advice from big names like Joyce Carol Oates and Walter Mosley, Neil Gaiman, or James Patterson. Step 4, and the reading doesn't stop with just craft books. Oh no, read all the books. This advice is pretty much cliche, but you really need to be an avid reader to be a writer, in my opinion. And I wouldn't stick with just your genre. Read across all the genres, both contemporary and the classics. And as you read, analyze the writing. How did an author write this scene or format this dialogue or shape their paragraph? You have the other team's playbook in your hands, but you'll have to learn how to reverse engineer those plays and then choose which literary tools to incorporate in your own story. Step 5, and once you get your first draft, try to enlist some beta readers from friends. The more literary they are, the better. Everyone has that relative that's kind enough to read your draft and say, I liked it. It was nice. That's not going to help you. It really won't. You'll want to find beta readers that have some experience in the writing or the editing world so that they can give you feedback that's a little more focused. Step 6. Then, when your story is as good as you can get it, consider hiring a professional editor. Editors can be expensive, but good ones can take your book to another level. And if you're a new writer, they will work with you and kind of act like a mentor. You'll learn so much when you work with an editor. Trust me, you really will. So let's recap. If you just want to be a better writer, I don't necessarily think you need an MFA or any degree in English or writing. Insert crowd gasping noise. But I'm serious. I think the resources you need to become a better writer are already out there and are free or fairly inexpensive, especially when compared to a college degree in the US. I mean, an internet connection and a library card can get you a pretty good education nowadays. Here's the rub. Are you the type of person who has the will to fully pursue your education? Are you? Now, some people want the structure and deadlines that colleges can provide. I get that. But other people are very self-motivated and can throw themselves into learning on their own. What kind of person you are really should lead you to whether the pursuit of a degree in English or writing or an MFA is really worth it for you. If you want to teach at the college level, or you know that the job you're after needs a degree, then go for it. Go ahead. But if you want to be a better writer, a degree is certainly not required. But what is required is a heck of a lot of self-motivation on your part. You're assigning your own reading. You're finding the writing groups. You're watching how-to videos and creating your own deadlines. I wish you luck in whichever route you do choose. Use me as a resource, but keep searching for more voices that help you along in your writing journey. And don't forget to subscribe, because I had to slip that in somewhere. And while you're at it, consider buying my books. They're a heck of a lot cheaper than one of those massive college textbooks. Links in the description. All right, fellow readers, writers, and goofballs, take it easy and remember that everything you need can usually be found in a book. And stay literary. As you can see, I'm trying out various catchphrases and sign-offs. Still feel like I haven't got the right one yet, but I'll keep working. All right. Later, guys. I'll start with the prose. Prose. It's like prose in writing. Nice. Nice. So the prose. I got...